what got you into those very emotional feelings during that time?
I love that question. Such good questions. I would say to start, that's the truth, people.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Jonathan McNamee. You're watching That Guy Talks, and today is a very special episode of That Guy Talks because I am interviewing a very personal friend of mine. She was on The Voice back in 2016, and she has two albums. One, Weakness, and the other is Free Your Soul. She's putting out new music, and last night she dropped a brand new music video. So the link is down in the description, so watch that after this. And without further ado, let's bring out Gina Zo!
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm great. It's raining now, so I'm glad to be back inside.
We are setting the mood, I guess, for your
I actually do love
release and the music video release and everything.
I love it.
So I have a few questions for you today, and then we're going to talk about your new music video you just released yesterday. So my first question is, how would you describe your music type or genre to people who don't know you?
Yeah, I love that question. We have a very specific style that we call gypsy soul rock and roll. That is, I know, you probably weren't expecting such a great answer.
And it rhymes.
And it
Gypsy
rhymes!
soul rock and roll. Like, damn, that's cool.
It was actually Joe who came up with that, our guitarist Joe.
Because what I have written down here as like what, because I've seen you a few times perform, which is awesome too. I have a Stevie Nicks with Taylor Swift's Passion, but Beyonce Moves.
Oh,
What do you think of that?
I love that. I think that's actually pretty spot on. We definitely are very our lyrics are very storyteller, very passionate. Beyonce's Moves, I mean, thank you. I thank you. I hope so.
You rock it on some of the videos and stuff. And when I saw you live, like you own the stage, the whole presence. It's fantastic. How was your experience on The Voice? Because I know that you were on The Voice back in 2016. And how has that helped you with your career right now?
My time on The Voice was amazing. As you said, it was in 2016. So I was 18 at the time. And it was really, really amazing. I mean, to be 18 and to have the opportunity to do that is like right out of high school is crazy and kind of like what the fuck is happening. Like you just
it's almost surreal too. It's like, taking all of that emotion and everything.
Totally. And I think in terms of how it impacted my career today, one of the biggest things I would say is that it gave me the confidence just to be able to have that on my resume. It's technically like it adds an extra element to myself, but overall the confidence to be able to say, oh, if like they thought I could do it, then I can do it. That would be the first thing. And the second thing I would say is just I know now what the professional world looks like on a variety of standpoints from doing that. Where those breaking points are, like where is there the pressure? Where is there the room for creativity and my voice? And then where is there space for me to want to change the industry and how they treat people too?
The industry itself is very cutthroat. So what are you trying to do a little bit differently that you see a lot of artists today do?
I love that question. Such good questions. I love that question. I would say first off, like off the bat, I'm comparatively to other artists, especially in the rock and roll industry, there's not a lot of female-led rock and roll bands nowadays. Now, of course, there were before, and you kind of can think of more modern ones as Paramore or along those lines. Yeah. But nevertheless, Paramore is still very different than us. Hayley Williams doesn't dance around on stage or do any of that. Grace Potter doesn't do any of that necessarily. Florence and the Machine is probably the closest, but she's not as provocative.
I would have to agree.
Yes. Although I'm obsessed with her and she's like...
Oh, she's awesome. Her voice...
Yeah, she's like my god. Yeah, she's like my god. If I believe in a god, it's Florence Welch. But anyway, so I would say I'm trying to pave the way for women to be taken seriously while still being sexual beings, as we all are.
I know that you just had two live performances, one at Kung Fu Necktie back on January 22nd, and then you just did at, I think it was 111 North.
118 North.
On 118 North in Wayne, and that was on February 25th. So how are those two performances, and was that the first performances since COVID?
No, so we've been performing since last August. First, I think, was our first performance back at the Rusty Nail in, I think that's Ardmore. And that was such a fun show because it was my first show in 3 years. I was like shaking, but we amazingly sold out Kung Fu Necktie, which I am so grateful. Thank you, Dave Kiss, if you watch this. Thank you so much for taking the chance on us being newer to the Philly scene, or like relatively new in terms of as a band. It takes a lot for a venue, especially after COVID, to say yes to a Friday night for you without having too much of an understanding if you're going to pull. And 118 North was also fantastic. That's more of like a restaurant style venue. I was joking with my band just that like it was a lot of more middle-aged people, like people in their 40s and 50s. And what is so exciting about that is I joked that like they don't listen to music like this probably very often. At least they don't go to dinner and think they're going to get this music.
Yes.
And so I felt like I like empowered hopefully some married couples have more fun in their life.
Now, at these live performances, how is it like to experience like fans singing songs that you've written?
People knew the song, knew the words to Cry and All the Things I Could Do. We didn't play Touch Me Before You Say Goodnight live at that show at Kung Fu Necktie. And when we sang Never Meant, which was our last song, it was just like unreal. Like I can't even describe. I grabbed Joe's arm and I looked at him. I said, "Oh my God, like what is happening right now?" I was like, oh my God.
It's a bop.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. It just being able to put out music and then people liking it. Like, although your goal is to put it out for you in some regard, people have to like it in order for you to do well. It's like a catch-22.
So while writing Dark Hallways, how was the process? What was your mindset? What got you into those very emotional feelings during that time?
I would say to start, we didn't record that many songs for the EP. Like we had songs written, but we only recorded 6 songs and 4 came out. What I would say about kind of like the writing of Dark Hallways, it was a lot more us learning how we wanted to portray the songs we had already known we wanted to put out. But at the same time, there's a lot more than just an acoustic guitar and a vocals, for us at least. Continuous themes in my music are, classic relationships, just what I'm experiencing. Songs like Never Meant are like a story about plainly meeting a guy in a frat basement. I'm just gonna be honest. That's the truth, people. I've never been a liar about that, so it's always been that. And that's like a very plain terms relationship type of song to an extent. I know, and the guys know, it's first off important for us. Okay, we need to have catchy lyrics, a story, something that people can create their own story from. So like not something
relatability.
Yes, but relatability in the sense of not so immediately specific to my experience, but what can I say that someone could craft their own story in their mind from my story. And so that's kind of what we're heavily working on now, is not being so specific and more allowing, with creative writing, the person to create their own experience from the song.
Now, I did see that you have some new merch and everything. Where can the people get this merch, and where can they find you on social?
Yeah.
All of that.
Absolutely. So we are on our website, zotheband.com. Our merch is on there. So we have these t-shirts that I designed that are this cool crystal ball, and we will be selling the posters from the show on there. Ooh, God, bug. Ew.
We have a guest appearance of the bug.
Oh, God. Ew, go away. Ruining. We will be also selling the tour posters, and then with the new music as they come out, we'll be having more merch for you guys.
Watch the music video that was released yesterday. The link is in the description. And thank you, Gina, for being on this show. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that everybody here who's watching likes this video and hits that subscribe button. And from all of us here at That Guy Talks, let's
cue that music.
That was awesome. Gina, that was great. All right.
Amazing. Gypsy soul rock and roll.